Uh, Fellow viewers, fellow Amazonians, I want to welcome you very specially, especially at this moment that we have finally proven to the world and to the intruders in our land that we are more united and we are more determined and we are more ready to restore our statehood, the precious state of Amazonia. I want to welcome you all again once more with a very big hand of applause, reminding you all that in under 19 minutes, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Sako Ekome, President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, will be addressing the nation. But before then, permit me welcome uh, two very special personalities this evening who will be for the panelists what we call the period before the president is coming. So let me welcome Comrade Sama Thomas as well as Comrade Rochelle. Comrade Sama, you're welcome.
Good evening, Comrade Fondo, and good evening, tele viewers and all Southern Cameroonians in Ground Zero. I want to express my joy for the just ended lockdown, which ended yesterday. The guys in Ground Zero have proven to us that they are ready for the independence and the restoration of the Southern Cameroon's statehood. I want to say congratulations. There is no amount of thanks that we can give those guys other than to say we appreciate what they've done. Like a monitor lizard, if you cannot clap, if it falls from the treetop and there's no one to clap for it will not fix.
That's great. Actually, I'm really flattered by such a very nice proverb. Oh, let's welcome Comrade Rochelle.
Yeah, good evening, televiewers. Good evening, fellow Amazonians. Greetings to you all over the world. Great applause to our fellow brothers and sisters on Ground Zero who made it possible, who made us proud for the wonderful show they put up within these last 6 days. We cannot say we are not blessed. We thank them for their bravery, for their determination, their focus, their resilience, and most all, we want to thank the Lord God for keeping His words beside them. That says in the book of Deuteronomy 31, verse 6, that says, "Do not be afraid, do not be terrified. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you. He will not forsake you." And we can all see that our Lord God did not forsake us, because we say this is an ordained, God ordained revolution. God has always been there for us. He's been faithful, and we can clap for our brothers and say we are proud of them, and we will continue to stand by them. Thank you, Comrade Waters.
Oh, very much. I want to really welcome you once more again at this very moment, because His Excellency shall be coming in any time from now. Let me say in under 16 minutes to address the nation. You just mentioned there, Comrade Rochelle, about the power of divine. And it seems as if we look at this struggle from when we started fighting with bare hands up to this particular moment, is going close to about 4 years now. And I can see from your eye that there is a lot of synergy, a fresh synergy, happiness, determination. I want to ask you one question. Could you do me a favor? What actually did you really pick out from these 6 days of lockdown?
Yeah, there was not a lot of things, but if I can say that which was very pertinent, because I stand by the word of God and I stand by the power of God. And when He says, "My people are my people, I will not leave them, I will not forsake them," even in the time of difficulties, many people stood up. They were prayer warriors, they were prayer intercessors, There were prayer sessions going on everywhere, prayer and fasting. 21 days were booked out, and I want to believe that any Ambazonian or friends of Ambazonians out there who took time to stand within this divine period, to be in the spirit, to pray for that land, they will realize that God Himself went before. He went before, moved in the land, moved in the life of the people, and there was nothing that could have been done without him. For he says, nothing that was there that was without him in the word. So that's the same thing. That's just the one thing, one serious thing I can say was I can say I realized in this struggle, in this these 6 days of lockdown. Divine power.
Excellent.
There was a hand of divinity over that land. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I will be coming back to you, Comrade Rusha. Let me move now to Comrade Sama, who happened to have been very keen as well within this period. And from time to time, he has also been disseminating information to the fellow viewers, especially to the entire Southern Cameroonians, rebuking certain intruders who come in with things that were acting as distraction. So I want to acknowledge the presence of Comrade Sama Thomas. Now, Comrade, do me this favor. You have been following these struggles periodically, especially at that very moment when the interim government called for a complete shutdown of the territory to make the world and the Republic to understand those who are in charge of that territory. Now, I want to ask you, did you find some kind of distraction during that period with regards to the shutdown?
Before I give my response to that, let me say welcome to my fellow panelists, Comrade Rachel. Yes, Comrade Fondo, I was afraid because prior to the shutdown day, there was a competition of announcements. Who announces what first, and who gives what dirt for our people to respect. And because of that competition of who announces what first and who gives what dirt for our people to respect, it had been proven beyond all reasonable doubt that the IG is the only institution in ground zero that is respected by the entire Southern Cameroonian people. Even the occupational system, no matter the amount of billions they are pumping to sway our people away from the struggle, they fail. What about in Libya? Enemies within who tried to frustrate our actions in ground zero by killing our fellow comrades, by stirring the waters. When we talk about 6, they will rush to say it is 7. When we say it's 11 to end, they will rush to say it is 12. I don't know what they've achieved out of all this confusion, but what had been achieved is that they've been exposed to their own emptiness to make them understand that nobody in ground zero listened to them. I wonder where they are now keeping their heads. For had it been I was part of them, I will shut up my mouth, never to mention anything again, as if I want to control anybody from ground zero. And I want to say congratulations to the IG. We should be steadfast, for it is only our steadfastness that is going to help us pilot this revolution to its final end.
Thank you very much for that deep analysis. I'm very sure that some of our viewers now has been well schooled just with this brief summary, which you have been able to take a short time to put it in a very clear, precise, and down to level for the deep comprehension of every sons and daughter that is residing in our residing within our territory and beyond. I also want to acknowledge the fact that Comrade Rusha mentioned about the spiritual part of it, which we all have a knowledge of the fact that we are really guided by the divine. But before I go to Comrade Rusha, let me just remind the entire Southern Cameroonians that in under 10 minutes, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Sarko Ekome will be coming up to address the nation. So as we go ahead with the analysis of the aftermath, let's be very, very conscious that His Excellency will be coming up in under 9 minutes. And now, let me move to Comrade Rusha. Comrade Rusha, we come to understand that before the calling of this shutdown, there have been a lot of attacks in different areas within both the northern and southern zone, especially what we call the Scotch Edge policy, and as well as intimidation, crackdown, burning of houses, looting, and even mass killing. And as a result of that, we felt that our people might lose the self-instinct as a result of fright. But then I can see that you explicit the implicit vigorously, especially given more praises as well as connecting it to divine intervention. I want to ask you, Comrade Rusha, do you feel that this crackdown of our people, intimidation, burning of houses, would have caused them not to obey the call for shutdown within our territory?
There is nothing that our Father in heaven cannot do. You know, when He told the children of Israel to march around the wall of Jericho, He gave them instruction that they should go around 7 times, and at the 7th time they should scream. And while they were going around, they should keep one hand for prayers, holding their weapon of prayer, and on the other side they should hold their sword ready for any attack. Because the people obeyed, and at the 7th time as they were going around, that mountain crumbled. You know, some people may be wondering that how could the people whose house have been burnt down, villages burned down, people are in the bushes, people wounded, people were killed before this time. They thought that with all this threat and every manipulation, the people were going to give up, people will be frightened, and they will just come out to vote. But they don't know that where the Lord God is, nothing can move them. Nothing can take away the people. Jesus said, I and my Father are one. He said, we are one. And when my sheep, they hear my voice, they obey me. When our government, the IG, President Sarko, Secretary Chris, they all went out there, the activists crying out to the people of Ambazonia, please, there will be a lockdown from the 6th to the 12th. Some people thought maybe it was just going to be a joke, but where God, the people work together, the restoration forces, they work together, the binding, the love, the understanding, the togetherness. There is no amount of intimidation that could have made the people to relent. Because in every normal sense, normal life, people would have seen corpses. People would have breathed out their last breath to say, this is the end of it. I cannot take it. But because God says, my children, do not give up. I will be with you till the end. This is a revolution. I am behind you. Despite every criticism, even within and without, even with the silence of the international community, we see the embodiment of everything that is able to make a normal human being to resign. Then you see the people of Amazonia, even to the last date, they followed the words. They stood because God is with them. Every human being can bear us witness that they couldn't have done it on their own if God is not with us. Even in the diaspora, the boldness, the focus, the determination, the support, the financial and moral backing, the physical presence. People are not giving up. We can all say, no matter what, our forces stood up. They bond with our voices. The finances came on. The people stood on their side with their prayers, with their fasting, their praises, their worship, and God in heaven received their smoke in the same way Abel's smoke was received in heaven. So I want to
Excellent.
brace every Ambazonian on ground zero to say that we should not be intimidated, that Republic should know that the people of Ambazonia are saying we are who we are, and nobody can take away the leopard's paw. And the international community should be knowing perfectly well that we are saying, come and listen to us, work with us, because we are people who know what we are, what we want, and how we want it to be. And under the leadership of Dr. Sako, I want to say I'm so proud to be an Ambazonia. I'm so proud to be part of this house, selflessly talking for a nation that is going to come up with good governance, because I know that the Lord God will not leave us alone. Thank you, Comrade Waters.
Thank you very much, Comrade Rochelle. Actually, I am really deeply inspired by spiritual explicit, and I can really feel my presence now covered, as well as the entire viewers, because sometimes people always wonder how things happen the way they do. But now that you have been able to draw the attention on the transcendental understanding of the spiritual battle, of which common eyes cannot see, especially things of the supernatural, I think that we all now come to understand that why the physical is going on, they should understand that the real war is within the spiritual realm. I want to really thank you very much for that detailed spiritual empowerment. And so let me now remind our entire viewers that in 2 minutes, the president will be coming up to address the nation. So, Comrade Sama, we have just heard from Comrade Rushel about the spiritual part of it, which is actually what has kept this struggle going. Now, Comrade Sama, we want to find out from you now just one quick one before we move to or to listen to His Excellency. Now, we are now back and things are now going on smoothly. What do you have to tell the entire Southern Cameroonians, especially after taking a coherent analysis throughout this period of shutdown?
Well, what I want Southern Cameroons to understand is that they should know that a football match, when it starts, 90 minutes is like 24 hours. But when you are leading your opponent within that 90 minutes, the last 5 minutes is what we usually call in our parlance last minute cover eye. You can be defeated at that moment. What do I mean? We shouldn't over celebrate the gains we've made and close our eyes on the bigger picture. For the bigger picture, the victory is when it had been consolidated after the 90 plus 5 minutes. But if you close your eyes and you relent your efforts, then you might lose the entire match. So, Southern Cameroonians, our restoration forces on the ground shouldn't sleep. They should not sleep because of their achievements. They should put in more effort so as to consolidate their gains and win the match in full time. And those in the diaspora, some of us in the diaspora who have been bent on financing this revolution, we shouldn't relent our effort. I know we are putting in a lot. A few of us are putting in a lot. We should know that it is our own burden, like it was said. Even if it is as if the entire struggle is on my soldiers alone, let God help me to pilot it right down to Boya. That is how we should treat this revolution for the moment. For those who are still standing on the fence, I want to plead with them to see the amount of killing that La Republic is making on our people and have mercy and pity and ask themselves if there is anything they can do to avoid and fast forward this revolution so that our people must not be all killed by La Republic to Cameroon. I want to say again, congratulations to my boys in Ground Zero, and they should be expecting too much for what the president is going to say. For you might be expecting him to say something and it is not going to appear in that speech. It doesn't mean that the speech was a non-event. All can be put in that speech. Tomorrow you can see add something. Thank you.
Don't freeze.
Are you guys okay?
Comrade Waters.
There's a problem with Comrade
And if I don't live to see the day, you better believe it. I'll be there. This is my home, and I'm home to stay.
Freedom is coming tomorrow.
Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom.
Freedom is coming tomorrow.
Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom.
Freedom is coming tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, you will listen to mama. Yeah, oh, you will listen to mama. Yeah, oh, you will listen to mama.
Shaya.
Live to see the day, you better believe it. I'll be there. This is my home, and I'm home to stay.
Freedom is coming tomorrow.
Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom.
Freedom is coming tomorrow.
Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom.
Freedom is coming tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, you will listen to mama. Yeah, oh, you will listen to mama. Yeah, oh, you will listen to mama.
Hail this land of glory, we the Amazonians, flesh special loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Amazonians, special loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Amazonians, special loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
Fellow Amazonians, dear Southern Cameroonians, congratulations to you all. Our just ended lockdown and the outstanding elections boycott campaign was a message to all our doubters, enemy enablers, and prophets of doom who prophesied too soon that Amazonia is only a dream now. Some are those who already believed the lie that La République du Cameroon has defeated us and our Amazonia restoration forces were giving up in droves. Some even dared suggest we engage bars and beer regime insiders to consider accepting a special status as trophy for best losers. If we ever embraced the thought of giving up because of such malicious propaganda masterminded by enemy machinery, even though in the comfort of our diaspora, then the stubborn resilience just demonstrated by our people on Ground Zero should serve as a clarion call to all of us to awake from slumber. Our revolution is alive and well. Fellow Amberlanders, dear Southern Cameroonians, we have begun our final march to freedom. An arrival shall be on time, despite timeless and tasteless obstacles we face from within and without. Be prepared to have all distractions and detractors behind. Bury the hatchet and let's face our only enemy with unreserved energy as we claim our future now together. Attempts at interruption and disruption of the lockdown by the enemy regime did not alter our message, which is that we are no longer part of the fraud called La République du Cameroon. Those isolated scenes of normalcy dramatized on enemy cameras and screens shall not sum up our people's defiance. Continuous uncontrolled arson and indiscriminate killings will not distract our people from their resolve. Whether it is the shocking use of innocent children in Boya, Tiko, Bamenda, the burning of Kumba Market, the rallying of faceless sympathizers in Kambe, or the masquerading of soldiers on the streets of Bamenda, the enemy has been unsuccessful in her unholy campaign to downplay the will of our people. Take pride in yourselves, Ambazonia. We are en route for a victory that will destroy the foundation of the colonial system in our land forever. Dear Ambazonians, fellow countrymen, all of you who have lost your houses and farms, all of you widows and orphans of war, all of you wounded and maimed, all of you languishing in dungeons or surviving in agony as refugees, do not sorrow in despair. Your interim government will fight for you until victory comes. Some people can disappoint the people, but the people cannot disappoint the people. It is customary to find some people claiming to be well enough in a broken system. Such is the catalogue of expired elites in Yaoundé, who have now become shadows of themselves in the very communities that only yesterday worshipped them as demigods. Such are all the one and indivisible Cameroon choristers who would rather surrender for a repackaged assimilation known as special status, or the half-bred so-called federalism. And did I say half-bred? I should have said the 1/10 of a bread. Dear Amberlanders, fellow Southern Cameroonians, it is heart-wrenching to see some of our privileged victims embracing their foes in betrayal of our revolutionary conscience. There is also a good share of people making profit from our chaos, corrupt individuals trying to be their own heroes in the pool of our blood. We must unite now, county by county, to stop them. We cannot allow them to conquer us. Ambazonia is not anybody's Cinderella. Now, To these authors of our political misery who want to return to peace, or a return to peace in Amazonia, by all means necessary, I have one message for you all. Peace without justice is tyranny. Our fight for Amazonia is against injustice which has been perpetrated by fraud and maintained through tyranny. The independence of Southern Cameroon's Amazonia is the justice that will guarantee lasting peace in the sub-region. Dear Amazonians, we have tremendously increased the cost of annexation of our country for the colonizer through our successful economic sabotage project. La République du Cameroon has lost more than 1,000 billion CFA francs in financial and non-material losses in the last 2 years. We have also made our country, Amazonia, ungovernable to the colonial occupier through ghost towns, lockdowns, and our timely decision to take up arms against the genocidal occupiers. We should be going into our next phase now, which is the effective command and control of all of our territory. In this regard, the Amazonia National Self-Defense Council advises all Yaoundé colonial administrators, government functionaries of La République du Cameroon origin, currently posted to the Southern Cameroons, all Southern Cameroon's appointees working for the government of La République du Cameroon with residency in our territory to return to their home government in Yaoundé and request possible reassignment elsewhere, or leave our territory as a matter of extreme urgency. The reason being, we have totally repudiated the government that appointed them or sent them to our territory. Their appointments and assignments in Amazonia are only as illegitimate as the unelected Biya government that they claim they represent. Let me make myself clearer. Southern Cameroons did not give Paul Biya a mandate to govern them, so all his representatives in Amazonia are seen as impostors. Also, all the so-called newly elected councillors, mayors, parliamentarians, senators who were not voted by Amazonians should take special notice. We boycotted your laughable legislative and council elections by 99%. All proclaimed winners, so-called, do not have our people's mandate to represent them in La République du Cameroon or anywhere as elected officials. You should either retire now or leave our territory or establish your offices in the colonial capital of Yaoundé. Failure which they will be considered as legitimate targets by our restoration forces. The Amazonia People's Interim Government cannot guarantee your security if you choose to ignore this advisory. Comrades in arms, dear compatriots and fellow Amazonians, we have long crossed the line of no return. We have since shattered every glass ceiling. We have, right from the beginning, broken the taboos placed on us by colonial politics. The barriers have been pulled down by our combined prayers and sacrifices. We have found direction and gained speed on the open ocean. But even this is not enough for the reward we seek. Let's now go for the impossible and attain the highest goal. They say we must show proof that we can liberate ourselves, defend ourselves, survive by ourselves, and govern ourselves. What we have done is to take on the challenge of self-liberation, and now your interim government has established a community-based revolutionary structure combined with a fearless fighting force that with the help from our trusted allies can work to guarantee peace and stability in a post-war Ambazonia. The miracle of today shall not be me writing our achievement, leading the government, commanding most of the forces, echoing our victory, praising your courage, announcing our sacrifices, but it shall always be you fighting the enemy to keep our dream alive. Today, we have proved it beyond reasonable doubt that French Cameroon administrators or proconsuls, their state terrorists and enablers, will no more walk straight to our doors, burn our houses, kill our innocent ones, rape our women, plunder our families and properties without consequences. The international community too has once more been reminded that our resolve to self-determination is undaunted, that French Cameroon cannot resolve this conflict militarily. We must, as soon as possible, meet on the table as we did in 1961 as two equal parties. This is inevitable. We have said to all our friends and foes that if there is no Ambazonia for Ambazonians, our people have decided they will make sure there is no Cameroon left for Cameroonians. I speak only as a messenger when I say so. Dear Ambazonians, our resolve and focus now should be to unite all our restoration forces under one financial and administrative roof. We Ambazonians must raise sufficient money by all means at every level of our society, local and diaspora, to assist all genuine Ambazonia restoration forces diligently defending our 13 counties responsibly, group labels notwithstanding. A national committee shall be established by trustworthy Ambazonians to oversee the equitable use of the fund under the coordination of the People's Treasury. We have christened this Operation Lava Storm in all counties, family by family. All southern Cameroons must be counted in cash or in kind for the war. Our own magma from our soil will dislodge all enemy's forces in every county. According to the colonial minister Atanganji, some French-speaking terrorist soldiers now go around in civilian attires as vigilante groups. These criminal gangs, constituted mostly of French speakers, have unfortunately made innocent Francophones in our territory legitimate suspects to all our restoration forces. The interim government, therefore, recommends that all Francophones leave Ambazonia now for their own safety and security. You are now targeted as suspected enablers. Unfortunate. Please don't blame our peace-loving people from Ambazonia. Blame Atanganji Paul. We have resolved to accelerate our silent diplomacy, our focus on state and institutional support for our recognition. Last year, we were in Norway, Sweden, Finland, Switzerland, UK, Brazil, and Germany. We will not change our modus operandi. We will continue to work diligently, but silently, for a free Ambazonia. And we care less if anyone else steals the glory, provided Ambazonia wins. Let me use this opportunity to reiterate the readiness of the Ambazonia coalition team to meet with La République du Cameroon on the table of negotiation in Switzerland for the long-awaited internationally mediated settlement with French Cameroon. On a final note, let me remind the organizers of the African Cup of Nations, to be hosted by French Cameroon in April, to desist from planning any of their football activities in our territory. Our territorial borders shall be closed during that period. It will be a reckless idea for any CAF official or football fan to trespass into Ambazonia, even for a visit during that period, without our prior authorization. We are at war. Some announcements. This year's Ambazonia Strategic Stakeholder Congress is slated for July 2020 in North America. Please go now to www.cid.ambascitizens.com and register for your compulsory independence due as a gesture of your patriotic commitment to our liberation quest. Or go to ambazoniagov.org and drop a gift for your valiant restoration forces in your county or local government. Payments are accepted monthly, quarterly, or annually. In 3 minutes, you will be done. Don't be a spectator. Be a proud partaker in the making of our victory story. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Short live the War of Independence. God bless Ambazonia.
Glory, we the Ambazonians, pledge our loyalty. Praise the soul and Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who brought the land with Yahweh. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. This land of glory, we the Ambazonians, pledge our loyalty. Praise the soul and Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who brought the land with Yahweh. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the man of this nation.
Start a new career as a Linux system administrator with an average salary of $80,000 to $120,000 a year. Dynamic Tech Academy has transformed many lives for the better through our 6-month Linux program. We are so excited to announce that we are adding DevOps course and Red Hat certification at no charge, which will make students more competitive. Over 80% of our students have no prior IT background, yet vast majority of alumni land jobs in 3 to 6 months after they start applying. Our ultimate goal is to reach 100% student employment, so we work with every student until he or she gets a job. Upon successful completion of the course, we will provide resume building, interview preparation, and job placement assistance. With the Linux course, you get more than 300 hours of in-depth training, and you get to learn from experienced instructors. By the end of the program, our students can be Red Hat certified if they choose. Our alumni work in companies, both government and private companies in the USA, Canada, and even Europe. Want to learn more about the program? You can contact us at info@dynamicdmv.com, or you can call us at 240-604-9505, or you can call us at 240-423-7865. And you can also visit us at www.dynamictechdmv.com. If you are interested in online classes, please register on our website. That's once again www.dynamictechdmv.com.
Then they fight you, then you win. Mahatma Gandhi. If there is anyone who still doubts the resolveness of the people of Amazonia in their fight for freedom, I think you're still living in your dreams. The just ended speech by the President, His Excellency Dr. Sako Ekomi Samuel, is full of power, is full of inspiration. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mr. Nanchop. I bring to you the post-analysis speech. This evening, I have with me some wonderful comrades, patriots of the revolution, people with whom we stand together, fight together, and die together. Of course, much greetings to Ground Zero, who have been the pillar of this revolution.
Lovely. As I still dey
My dear Amazonians, fellow Amazonians, I have with me some wonderful people, and we'll be going through the speech of the president to analyze some key things, key statements of this revolution. I also want to let you know that we'll be opening the lines for your calls. So please stay with your handies. You'll be calling us to contribute on your own part of what you understood the president's speech. With me this evening, I have this kind of with
They think I'm governor now. So long as they know think I'm saying I'm gonna
until they go take am now.
they're not taking to
I'm sorry for the technical issues we're facing. I think we are still getting some comrades connected. But let me just go on. Dear televiewers, dear Amazonian, beautiful people of the beloved nation, I'll be introducing to us right now my beloved brother, Comrade Fondo, who will be joining me on this post-analysis speech for us to dissect together the statements which the president brought to us this evening. Hello, Comrade Walters Fondo. Hello, Comrade Waters. Can you hear me, sir? I guess Comrade Waters is having some technical issues, but I'm hoping he will join us in a few minutes from now. Still with me, I have also our beloved brother and a strong fighter in this revolution, somebody who is full of history because he started fighting even when most of us were still creeping. He has been fighting in this revolution. I have with me Comrade Larry Ndasi. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, Comrade Larry. Can you hear me, sir? Dear televiewers, fellow Amazonians, while we are waiting for these beautiful people to join us, I want us to go into the speech of the president. I want us to take a look at some of the things the president said and, dive into it. As I said, we'll be opening the lines for you to call us, for you to give us your contribution, for you to share in your thought of what the president said. I want to welcome Ma Rachel Tima, who I believe should be connected. Hello, Ma Rachel. Can you hear me, madam?
I hear you.
The microphone is on. Hello, Ma Rachel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. 5 on 5.
Good evening and welcome to this show, Ma Rachel. So I want us to go straight without wasting the time of the Amazonian people. I want us to go straight into the president's speech. I want us to go into the depth and analyze the speech of the president. The first thing I got from the president's message is the congratulations he expressed to the Amazonian people for the huge success of the lockdown. I want us to begin with that. Did you get anything in that direction from the president's speech of the just ended lockdown?
Yes, the president really analyzed the great success, because I want to believe that was the essence why he came out today to talk to the people who stood the test of time. Because you saw how all the pains the people have been through, the division within our fighters, the confusion, the manipulation, the military. You can see the intimidation, people parading your streets. You cannot come out even to go and get bread or to get milk. People in uniform as if it was a state of emergency. What a controversy. Where they say there is election, do you need military? Are elections not civil rights where people are supposed to happily come out to fulfill their human rights, their civil rights, go there voting out the people they want? It's just a facade. So the president made it very clear that the whole streets, military everywhere. After that, they burned down villages, intimidating people, trying to frustrate people not to think that they are worth living, they are human beings. So it is something that, as a president, he could not just stay aside. He really had to come out and to express that joy, to say that despite all these pains, intimidation, and frustration, that the enemy worked so hard to frustrate our people, but the people came out because they know themselves You know, when you know yourself, no matter what is meted on you, what you are labeled with, you will come out and speak out, and you will go an extra mile to even say, if it is dead, let me die standing. And that is what I want to believe, that the president stood out today to say that the lockdown, the position of the people, to applaud them, to congratulate them, our forces to be there, you know, and yeah, I'm
Yes, ma'am,
so,
Michelle.
yeah.
You thank you so much for that wonderful comment, because let me quote from what the president said. The resilience demonstrated by our people on ground zero should serve as a clarion call to all of us to wake up from slumber. Our revolution is alive and well. Before this, we've seen a lot of things happening in this revolution. We've had a lot of challenges. And I mean, I'll be lying if I should say Amazonians have not been having these internal challenges and external challenges. But yet, the people of Amazonia, they have proven to the international community and even to the sellouts and the enemies of the revolution how resolved they are in this fight for freedom. Welcome on board, Comrade Paul Nilong. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you very much, great. It's been a pleasure. It's another evening, another wonderful speech from the president. Greetings, televiewers of my television. Thank you, comrade.
Yes, sir. Comrade Paul, I'll go straight to you. In the president's speech, he gave thanks to Ground Zero, recognizing the fact that the people of Amazonia have proved or have proven to the world how serious they are, and that they are not willing to give up anytime soon. For anyone who is still dreaming and who is still hoping that the Amazonian people are going to become weary, the president said, our revolution is alive and well. In fact, from the president's speech, I can see that the Amazonian people are not willing to give anytime soon. I want you to analyze that particular part of the president's appreciation of the just ended lockdown and also of the resilience of the people of Amazonia.
Yeah, I think thank you very much, comrade. The president carries us back to 2000. That speech as a whole carries us back to 2016, when the first demonstration took place on the 21st of November 2016 all over the national territory of Amazonia. So this speech the president is always acknowledging the fact that this revolution is the hard work of ground zero. This everything came from being through ground zero. So whatever the president, it has been so consistent. He has been so consistent in this particular issue, always acknowledging the fact that the heart of this revolution is ground zero. And if I can make it the body part, the vein that supplies blood, the blood vessel is the diaspora, but the heart that pumps is ground zero. So we must always appreciate that heart that receives the blood and accepts to pump, because
that's right.
Maybe we have heart that will receive blood, but they will not pump. That is dead. So he always go back to acknowledge that everything is from ground zero. They are the one facing the enemy directly. So they deserve all. And he has been very consistent about that. He has been very consistent. And I think it is worth it. I think it is worth it.
You be connected.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution, Comrade Paul. Now, I want to come back to you, Martima. I know as a mother and as a woman in this revolution, you know what it means for people to go through. You share the feeling of our people at ground zero. I know you're one of those who is very constant in communication with the people at ground zero, and you can best tell what they went through during this period of the revolution, during the lockdown. And before the lockdown, of course, we saw, should I say, what the president said, he addressed it as testless obstacles we face from within and without. The testless obstacles, from the words of the president, he described those obstacles we face from within and without. I want you to let's address some of these issues, because I think it's necessary. When we are talking about our victory, we should be able to talk about the challenges and obstacles we overcame. There is no victory without challenges and obstacles that have been overcome. I want us to talk about some of the challenges that we faced before and during this period of the lockdown.
Yeah, the challenges we since 2016 we've been in constant challenges, in the fact that there is an ongoing war, and between, for example, international medias, you will even hardly hear anything that is ongoing in Amazonia. You will hardly hear of the killings and what this carnage, this scorch policy that has taken over Amazonia by La République du Cameroon. That is one of the timeless challenges, that you begin to wonder that if one person dies somewhere of an illness, the whole media, the CNN, the BBC, the Sky News, they spread it, and you wonder how come thousands of people are being killed, children from babies to mothers, people being burned in homes, and no one is seeming to say anything about that. That is a very big challenge that you will be questioning yourself. Are we really living on the same planet? At the same time, the challenges within, we say we're Amazonians, but you will find a group of people, when we call ourselves to say we need to support our counties, we need to support our LGS, we need to fund this revolution, because nothing, you cannot draw blood out of a stone. You need to put in something to get something. When we say we are doing self-defense, we know what we should do to the success of such a move to take place. But you find your fellow Amazonians, they seem not to know what is really going on, or they pretend, and those are some of the challenges that you begin to ask yourself: are we really ready for this Amazonian? That, or some yesterday, are some people more Amazonian than others? You ask yourself, and if you are that one that is doing your best to see that Amazonian comes true, you will say, yes, I can proudly say that I am more Amazonian than others. And for the fact that our people also had to rush around, businesses have been crumbled, people have not been going to their farms to have food crops. When we talk of stock your homes, with foodstuff and water and medication, we ask ourselves, where are our people going to have this financial backup to be able to stock homes, to buy foodstuff, to buy medication, to put at home for 6 days? And the worst one are those who are in the bushes, where nobody can even take the Okada to get down there to give them one or two things that can sustain them. It is a timeless situation where I believe it is high time every Amazonian should stand up, should wake up from their slumber and say, yeah.
Yes, Marisha, this is very important what you're saying. But before we continue on that lane, I want to welcome on board Comrade Walter Fondo. Good evening, sir. Hello, Comrade Waters. Can you hear me, sir? Okay, I think he's still having some technical issues. But Marisha, what you were saying is very important. And I want us to, the president, from what I heard the president said this evening, he didn't just talk about these things, but in the president's speech, I saw encouragement for the afflicted. I saw encouragement for the afflicted, hopes. His message carried hopes for the afflicted. I felt, while listening to the president, I felt like if I'm at ground zero right now, I'm sitting in the bush, I'm sitting in the forest, and I've lost my houses. I've lost everything, my family is scattered. I don't know where my children are. I don't know where my wife is. I don't know where my grandkids are. His message carried hope. He said they should be rest assured that there is hope for the future. He talked about restoration. He talked about what we will do when we get to Buea. Comrade Paul, I want to bring this to you, sir. Can you do in the president's speech expressing hope? What are the key points, the striking points you got from the president's speech that expressed hope to you as an individual?
Yeah, there are so many points that I want to highlight on this issue. There are so many points. Now, the president, analyzing the president's speech, it means we have to go strategically what he has mentioned and what we can give as output. You see, I'll mention some of these points that I noted when the president was talking. He had consistently repeat on this aspect of let us bury our hatchet. Let us not fight against one another. Let us stop pointing our hatchets of war against one another, and we thus have a common enemy, which is La Republic. Let us face that enemy, which is La Republic. He also called for unity. And you see, he came out with this strategy, a call for unity. He says will only be achieved through county by county. It means for us to have a substantial, for us to have real unity, is for everybody to identify, go to your county where you belong. That is where unity will come from. So it brings me now to one thing. Just imagine that all other groups, everybody, you go to your county, you identify in your county. Let me tell you, that is the magic, that is the miracle where we can achieve unity. So I think for the president to bring this point, we need to start preaching. We need to start talking about this particular issue. That if anybody asks me or asks you, how do we get unity? We need unity. We need unity. Yes, there is one thing. You can be operating in any other group. You can be operating in group A. You can be operating in group B. But if you identify under your county, you understand, you realize is that you will talk in your county, and whatever we discuss in our county will give us some form of unity. Okay, I want to take, for example, the Ngokutunja County, because you see an aspect of unity. You see that it is one of the most structured, one of the most harmonized county, where everything is well structured and placed. You see, it shows us that if all children from Ngokutunja, they are one and they are united. Every force under Ngokutunja is Ambazonia Restoration Force. So it means where the county is united, I mean, both on the ground and in the diaspora, there will be total unity. So that is what we have to start preaching. Anybody who is talking about unity, just tell that person, go to your county. If you want unity, go to your county. I think that is one of the points. He said, peace without justice. Peace without justice. Let me just pick out some few important points that he made up. Now, peace without justice can never last. Justice must come to protect peace. Justice must come to protect peace. If there is no justice, then peace will be a matter of a muddy foundation. And what has elated me now is the fact that the president has reiterated all Francophones leave Ambazonia. All Francophones leave Ambazonia. It means we have the battle has started. It is now that the real war, not even the battle, the real war has started. It means that after these 6 days, the presidential storm, the Operation Lava is taking over. So I think hearing this from the president, it means on my platform, I have, because I had never preached about this Francophone issue. Hearing it from the president, it means I have the right, I have the backing now to stand on my platform and say, all Anglo Francophone, you have been identified as the one enabling genocide. You are the one facilitating the work of La République. So I think now it's an official government policy for all Francophones to leave. I think there are other points I'll be highlighting as we go on, because I noted for those who have been elected, you know where you belong. The president has said it. We did not vote for you. You voted for yourself. It means you are representing La République. Back with your entire family and go to La République. I think I yield for now. Why we have other points that will highlight as the program goes on. Thank you.
Yes, Comrade Paul. Actually, I was to come to those points you made mention of, because I really want us to take our time and dissect the president's speech step for step, points for points. But thank you for that elaborate contribution. I want you to still answer the question I posted to you, Comrade Paul. Talking about encouragement of the afflicted, we saw in the message of the president, he gave encouraging words to the afflicted. Can you please elaborate on what you got from the president's speech that sounded as encouragement to our people at ground zero, and of course at ground one, the most afflicted?
Yes, they are the one facing the bullet. And like I said in the first part of my speech, on the first part of my explanation, like I said, the president always acknowledged that they are the ones feeling the direct heat, the direct pain. All that ground zero is going through, they bore, they harbor it, they keep it. So acknowledging it means the president recognizes that ground zero is the heart that receives blood and pumps and flow and gives life. So acknowledging their suffering, it means the interim government is not sleeping to fast forward, to work as fast as possible for this war to come to an end. He has elaborated there will be silent diplomacy, going to Swiss, making sure that La République go to the Swiss table on her knees. So these are the fact that the president has recognized that there is much inflation and much has to be done for these things to go fast, and a negotiated settlement is agreed upon in due course. Are you getting me?
Contribution, Comrade Paul. Thank you so much. Now, I want to quote something. Our resolve and focus now should be to unite all our restoration forces under one financial and administrative roof. That's a quote from the president's speech. Welcome on board, Comrade Larry.
Yeah, thank you, our able host. I am privileged to be here today. After listening to the president, there is this major point that he emphasized. The president talked of us coming together and working under one umbrella. The president talked of we should go to our LGA and participate.
That's right.
This statement of people going to the LGA and participating at your LGA is one of the things that I would like to tell Ambazonians. If you might give me enough time, I would like to tell Ambazonians why this LGA by LGA issue was the most preferable thing to do, and why people have to go to their LGA. Why we must encourage people to go to their LGA is that some people live like what we call in America swing states. You pretend as if you belong, but you don't belong. What you do is you swing from left to right, causing a lot of noise, causing a lot of havoc.
But if you have identified yourself with your LGA and participate, you will know how stressful, how difficult, how money is raised, how money is managed, so that when you are opening your mouth to talk, you should understand what you are talking about. I would like to state here to fellow Ambazonians the reason why we must encourage people to go participate in their LGA. I will first start by saying why we have the choice of LGA county by county was the best thing to do. I will take you back to history. This issue of LGA county is not the making of any of these leaders of today. It is not the making of Seseko. It is not the making of President Sako. It's not the making of Eric Tato or people name it. On the 30th of September 2001, when this flag was adopted as the Southern Cameroon's flag, the administrative structure was also adopted. The administrative structure was started from the smallest unit, which we call the precincts. And then we go to the LGA, we go to the county, we go to the zone, and we go to the national. So the administrative structure was made of 5 components. That was in 2001 during the Constituent Assembly chaired by Dr. Luma. I want to tell Ambazonians to see the origin and then to see why at the end of the day they say people should go to their county. In 2004, I have the minutes with me here. I was a think tank secretary of the SCNC. Then we saw that mobilization, sensitization was not yielding fruit. A 4-man delegation was sent to Frundi. Reason that Frundi had the backing of the highest population in Ambazonia. If we could bring Frundi in, Frundi was going to pull the crowd. The 4-man delegation constituted Chifayamba, Prince Binglo Hila, Chinko Fidelis, Apa Hendrinya. The response they brought from Frundi. Frundi is alive and he should be here in Minnesota hearing me if he's listening. Frundi categorically stated, I am not for a divided Cameroon. Frundi stated categorically to this 4-man delegation. When they brought this news from Frundi, they now say, okay, now we are left on our own. What can we do? What can we do to bring a large people together so that we pull the crowd, raise the money in order to tackle La République? Now, they say we have to do what is called mobilization, sensitization, and organization. They now say, okay, everybody should go to your county and LGA. This is the origin of county by county. Knowing that, for instance, if I, Larry Dancy, go to my county, which is Momo, and then to my LGA, which is Mogamo, Mogamo has 22 villages. If I put 22 precincts in all the 22 villages in Mogamo, every precinct will have a leadership of at least 10 people. That is the chair, the vice, the secretary, the treasurer, the organizing secretary, the women's affair, the youth affair. Every precinct will make at least 10 people in the leadership. If Mogamo has...
Larry, I can see you are vested with this wonderful history of Ambazonia. And the truth is, I like it. I like listening to you. You know, sometimes I can't stop listening to you when you are exploiting this history of Ambazonia. But I really want us to focus today on the president's speech, because, you know, I feel like having an extraordinary show for you to explain to us these histories. But I just want us to focus on one thing. You know, the president said, and I want to read, is our resolve and focus now should be to unite all our restoration forces under one financial and administrative rule, quote ends, from the
Good.
president. I want us to just focus on, we see the president, he is calling on this unity. He is calling on this working together. Of course, Comrade Paul said, Comrade Paul, I'm coming back to you, sir. Comrade Paul said, just like the president said, there cannot be peace without justice. But yet the president is calling on the Ambazonian people to implement justice in their judgment, in how they handle things, in how they see things. I don't know. I want you to give your own view of in this line, how you see it, how you understand it from what the president said.
Yeah. If I may understand what the president was saying, the president was like trying to make everybody participate. That's why I want to make Ambazonians to know how we can make everybody to participate. We should stop this issue of swing comrades, people swinging from Bui to Fako to Mame. If we can stop this swing comrade, swinging from left to right, creating havoc here and there, and make everybody to concentrate where you belong, or must not be where you come from. You must choose somewhere to belong, participate, understand how difficult money is raised, and then understand how much money is spent. It will stop this noise on the social media, which is the major cause of distraction. So when the president said we should go to our LGA, it is solving a lot of problems. The first problem that is being solved is social media chaos. If you go to your LGA, you go to somebody in your LGA and say, please, our contribution, our forces need to eat, like from Mogambo. We are spending at least $300 to $400 to $500 every month for feeding. There are people in that area who are swinging from A to left. Let me quote here like John Mbakoro, who does not participate in our LGA. He does not know how much it costs to feed 500 soldiers a month. Had it been he was participating there, before he will open his mouth to talk about financial mismanagement, he will know how that money was coming in, how difficult we had to raise that money, and how we are spending that money. Because somebody would tell an Ambazonian that Mogamo LGA raised close to $100,000 in 2019, and you say, oh, where are the sticks that you people bought? Where did this money go to? The person who is talking is looking only at the level of sticks. He does not look the level of injuries. He does not see the level of feeding. He does not see the level of sickness. He does not see the support for how we support the families that we lost beloved soldiers. They only see sticks. So when soldiers come and say, we don't have sticks, they go to social media and say, oh, they cannot provide the sticks. They don't see where this money is going to. That is why I wanted to let Ambazonians see the reason why we have to go LGA by LGA. If we all go to LGA by LGA, everybody is going to participate. You will participate in raising the money. You will participate in spending the money, so that when you are talking, you will understand. I think this is what the president wants. Everybody should go to the LGA and start swinging left and right. They want to talk about Boo, you are in Boo. They want to talk about Fako, you are in Fako. A jack of all trades, good for nothing. Go to where you can be held accountable. Right now in my LGA, our executive is under auditing by our restoration council for Mogamo alone. We are under auditing. Mean we are going to give the Mogamo people to the least franc that has been contributed to us. That is also going to reduce what? Fraud.
Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. Marabashal, I want to come to you. We saw the president. Now, dear televiewers, we'll be opening the line shortly to get some few calls from you watching us from around the world, especially from Ground Zero. Now, Marabashal, we saw the president talk about betrayal of our revolutionary consciences. We saw the president, he's calling for unity, but yet he's telling the Ambazonians to watch out for those sellouts of the revolution. Those people who are more interested in their personal gains rather than the national gain. He talked. I want us to share some light on this. What did you understand when the president said we should be aware of betrayal of our revolutionary conscience?
Yeah, thank you, comrade, and I want to thank my senior comrade Larry for that elaborate analysis and some background history to some aspects where people have been very confused. People think it's a trap set for them. I like that statement. Stop swinging from Fako to Dongamantu. Look for one place and sit down. It stems also from this swinging because if you cannot position yourself in one place to be able to work hard, build a structure, respect it, and get to a level where you will be able to give account, it will be difficult. That is where you find some of these people who will come in to come and disrupt what the president meant by corrupt minds, if I will use another word for it. Because you being incapable in staying in one place, you might not be able to give anything correct. As Judas, I like the Bible because it is incorruptible. You cannot change any fact, and there is no social or physical work or scientific work that will not back you with the word of God. You will always have them amongst you. Even in heaven, when the Lord God was having a meeting with his angels, the devil came along. They will always be there. But the president, in his divine wisdom, also is cautioning us that we should remember that Judas Iscariot will always be amongst us. We should also be smart. We should be watchful, because some are so technical that in their language you might find it difficult to detect them. In their efforts in doing things and collaborating and participating, you might not be able to depict them as soon as possible. But with prayers and with insight, with discernment, they will always commit an error that will lead them for us to know that this person should be watched, this person should be put under control. Which I want to say that the president is, if you listen to him, I like listening to him, since from Dr. Common Sense, because you will not see on the surface. You have to go underneath to be able to carry the heavy pebbles. Because despite the fact that he says, he reminds us those things are going to be there. Those people are going to be there, but they should not distract us. They should not distract us, because those ones who will not be contributing, those ones that will go and make fake documents. I was so carried away by the letter that was faked and reproduced in another time, and people going on social media blackmailing and all those things. We should not be ignorant of the device of the devil. The device of the devil will always be there. Children who are watchful, children of the light, we should not be carried away. They will always be there. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. I believe we still have Conrad Paul with us. Now, there are three key things I still want us to talk about, which are so important. The president talked about security and recommends that all Francophones leave Ambazonia now. He said for their own safety and security. And he also went down to say, because the Atanganji boys, talking about security, he expressed the fact that we can't guarantee for the security of the Francophones who live in our area, the peace-loving Francophones. Whereas he also stressed on the fact that Atanganji and his terrorist guys are now parading the streets of Ambazonia, and we saw that the president is not he's not even aiming. The Ambazonia soldiers are not aiming of relenting their effort anytime soon. We saw an expression of increase in the intensity of fire. We saw, to put it in his direct word, let me quote. So we have resolved to accelerate our silent diplomacy. Let me quote. According to Colonial Minister Atanganji, from French Cameroon speaking terrorist soldiers now go around in civilian affairs as vigilante groups. These criminal gangs, constituted mostly of French speakers, have unfortunately made Francophones in our territory a legitimate suspect of our restoration forces. Hence, he told them that the Francophones should leave our territory. Now, some people might want to misinterpret this, but I want us to explain to the people. Let's explain what we understand of what the president is trying to say. So, Comrade Paul, can you please take on that? I want you to give me an expression of what you understand by what the president is trying to say here.
Yeah, we got before the election, we saw in one of their news, I think it was in a Pinox that I saw that 350 has been dispatched to Amazonia for security because of election. And during the election, the election, we saw Elekam giving 910 who will be voting, and we have already had more than thousands who were already in Amazonia. And let me tell you, most of them are in civilian ways. Who are these people who keep them? They come as internally displaced. Let me tell you, let Amazonians know this. They come as internally displaced. They stay with those enablers who are our brothers, who are working with the regime of Yaoundé to kill their own. Now, they are well armed. They go out as if they are going to look for jobs. Maybe some are Okada men, some are prostitutes, some have businesses already established by the regime of Yaoundé. So at the end of the day, you don't know who is who. I want Amazonians to understand this, that the Bulu people, the Basas, most of them are already out of Amazonia. Most of them are already out of Amazonia. The ones who are there now are military people who have come for a special mission to infiltrate the ranks of our fighters, to get information from our local population, and to do what? And to hit when they are fully ready. So it makes them now potential target. All of them are military. They give out information. They open their doors for their uniform friends to come inside. So automatically they have become legitimate enablers and target. So I want, just for example, from Bafustan, from Buddha, they come in, they use them every Monday to defy Ghost Town. These people are armed and military. They are military people. The other day, you saw a video of a young man selling bread. That was the second time they are holding him down. Restoration forces are holding him. That is the second time. He could be a military person in civilian. He's from Buddha. He's coming there to defy Ghost Town. It is not only to defy Ghost Town. He has come. He has seen our restoration forces. They have held him down, questioning him. He already knows their position. He already knows the position where our restoration forces are positioned. He already knows their number. How many of them are there at that moment? How many of them are there at that moment? So when they send him back, it is very easy. He has gotten the information that he wanted. He is there. He can even leave a tracker. Maybe in the course of touching one of them, he can even touch and leave a tracker on their body without them knowing. He goes back peacefully, and what happens? They come the next minute. You hear that they have attacked those boys who were on the road, who were there for patrol or for control. So these are the things they do, making them now legitimate target in our land. So I think after election, for the president, after this failed and banned election, for the president to come out and say enough is enough of this nonsense, leave our land, I think that is the right thing, doing at the right moment.
Thank you so much, Comrade Paul.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Comrade Paul. Beautiful people of the beloved nation of Amazonia, dear televiewers, this discussion and this analysis is becoming interesting. I want to assure you that we'll be having a short musical break, and after the break, we'll be going into the depths of the president's speech. Now, we have to talk about the future. There are some certain things the president talked about that we need to dissect in the depth. So I just want you to stay on your TV sets, stay in front of your laptop, whatsoever you're using to watch us. Have a cup of water while we play this music, and after this musical break, we'll be coming back to dissect the B part of the president's speech. Stay tuned.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for that used car that perfectly fits both your lifestyle and your budget? Are you bored with the same old tactics, the same old styles, and the same old disappointments when you don't find exactly what you want? Are you frustrated because of bad credit or tired of being rejected of in-house financing? Are you tired of going from garage to garage for a car? How about that filthy old car that you used to drive? Are you done? Welcome to the new experience. Barrico Auto Sales has sold and financed cars to over 50,000 people across the country. Our exclusive in-house financing model allows us to provide flexible options for all. Enjoy low rates, free pickup, and award-winning customer service. Reserve today. Barrico Auto helps make car renting easy and seamless for all of our customers. Our financing options allow you to shop our vehicle inventory for the exact used car, truck, or van that best fits your needs. Car selection and customer satisfaction are of great importance to us. We provide the best mechanical repairs, and our services take just minutes. Detail your car with us and get out of that filthy old smell and into something sweet. We will even do your oil change at the lowest rate. And please do not forget that with Barrico Auto Sale, you own and drive your car before you even have to pay us. So come on down and visit us and drive away with your new car.
Barrico Autos, own and drive before you pay. 240-486-4664 www.barricoauto.com